Today we're making Fettuccine Bolognese.
Bolognese.
Just a very classic Italian dish. We're gonna do, of course, our little spin on it.
Always.
So today we're making fresh noodles, fresh sauce, and yeah, just garnishing up for you guys. So, yeah. Any questions, Chef?
I have no questions. It's just the only question is your ass hungry now? Because I know it's about to be. Let's get into it.
All right, time to get our knife cuts ready for our Bolognese sauce.
Bolognese.
We're gonna do a large dice on one Vidalia onion. We're gonna sweat down 1 cup of these Vidalia onions in the pot for our Bolognese.
Bolognese.
We're gonna season our pan with just a little bit of olive oil when it wants to come out. Okay, there we go. So probably about a teaspoon there.
Teaspoon.
We're gonna sweat these down just until they're translucent. We're adding about a teaspoon of salt here.
Finally, you learned your measurements.
This just helps draws out some of the moisture from the onions and speed up the caramelization. We're also gonna do about a medium dice on our celery and carrots. I like to peel our celery. It just gets a lot of that bitterness off and some of that stringiness. The same for our carrot. Into the pot it goes. We're gonna sweat these guys down until they're nice and tender. We're gonna do about 1 head of garlic here.
What the fuck?
Adding our garlic. 2 dry bay leaf. Just a little bit of bark. Cinnamon. We're gonna peel and chop about a tablespoon of oregano here after it's destemmed. We have a Scotch bonnet kicking around, so we're gonna deseed it and add it to the Bolognese. We're gonna add our oregano and chili to the pot. We're gonna deglaze with a little balsamic vinegar.
Boom! And a little bit of Mama G's homemade wine.
We're gonna cook that wine down just so it's evaporated. We're adding equal parts of ground beef and ground pork. We're gonna turn the heat to medium high and brown up this meat. While our meat's browning up, we're gonna shift and add 1 bunch of basil.
Time to make the dough. Gonna start with a nice mound of flour. Nothing's gonna be measured out, it's all gonna be by feel. I'm gonna create a nice well in the center. I got 3 egg yolks and 1 whole egg. I'm gonna add that to the center of our well. I'm gonna pop the yolks, just give them a little mix. I'm just gonna slowly incorporate the flour from the outsides in to start to form our dough. I'm gonna hit it with a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of olive oil, keep mixing. So here I have a teaspoon and a half of toasted black peppercorns, and to that I added some crushed chilies. I'm gonna bust it up with a mortar and pestle and add it to our dough. Toast the peppercorn and chili, and add that to the dough. Time to ditch this fork and begin to start working it with our hands. So our dough's starting to come together here. You can see we have a lot of extra flour, but that's okay. That's why we're doing it all by hand. So you can feel it, so you know when it's ready, when you know that you don't need to add any more flour to it. It's nice moisture. I'm gonna keep kneading it, but I'm gonna get rid of this flour first. Our dough has come together. I'm gonna wrap it in plastic wrap and let it rest for half an hour.
So it's been about half an hour. We're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of whole milk. And we're just gonna give it a little more of a drop there. Let's give it about another tablespoon. We're We'll let that simmer down again for about another 20 minutes.
It's time to roll out our dough. If you don't have a pasta machine, you can roll as thin as you can with a rolling pin and create yourself some pappardelle, which is a nice thick cut noodle. Or you can cut a fettuccine by hand as well. I'm gonna start by dividing my dough into quarters, flour them up, take my one, wrap up the extra, put it to the side. I'm gonna start putting my dough through. I'm gonna flatten it out by hand a little bit. Got it on setting number 1. Just gonna crank it through. I'm gonna fold my dough into thirds to laminate it. It's just gonna give the noodles a much better texture. I'm gonna put the fold of our little pasta envelope in the roller and roll it through again. I'm just gonna do that one more time and then we'll go to the next setting. That's setting number 1. Then move to setting number 2. I'm gonna put it through each setting all the way down to setting number 4 2 times. Now I'll run the dough through the fettuccine cutter. There you go, our fresh fettuccine noodles. I'm gonna put them in a nest and set them on a plate. I'm gonna repeat the process with the rest of our dough. Our pasta's all done. Let's go cook it. I got a pot of boiling water on. Just gonna season it till it tastes like the ocean.
Let's see. All right, we're just gonna remove our bay leaves from our bolognese and our little stick of cinnamon. We're just gonna finish this with half the basil we prepared. So we let this reduce for about 2 hours, just on low heat.
Time to cook our noodles. Gonna hit the water with a little olive oil. Time to take off the noodles. Just gonna strain them off and then coat them with a little olive oil.
We're gonna add about a cup of our bolognese here to a nice hot saute pan. Maybe a little more. Add our fresh noodles. We're glazing the noodles with a little more olive oil. We're going to add the rest of our bolognese. We're going to finish with a handful of arugula. Remove it from heat and just slightly toss it in there. Alright, let's go plate. A little Parmesan on there to finish. The rest of our basil. A little bit of white truffle oil to finish. Just a touch. There she is. Fettuccine bolognese.
Bolognese. I've always wanted to say this. Bon appetito.
Cook on the noodles are perfect. Beautiful al dente. A little bit of heat. Cook that bolognese.
I'm not even gonna say anything, it's too delicious.
That truffle oil just ties all together. That's great.
Really nice.
Pepperoni from the arugula. Wow.
It's good, man.
High five.
Fucking A.
Alright guys, well thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Your Ass Hungry Now. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and yeah, until next time. Ciao.
Peace.